Thank you very much for this invitation. It's the fourth year in a row that I'm in this panel with my colleagues from other institutions and for the private sector. It's a great pleasure. I think we are now in a situation where the program was completed last year. We have been 1 year under the post-program surveillance framework. We have had elections 2 weeks ago, a new government. So I think it's the right time to take stock, take lessons, and also things what's going to be next. And I think the perspective is the title of this panel, so Greece Market Access. Last year, I concluded my remarks saying that if Greece follows the path of the other countries having benefited from our loans, will be a success story. And I think Greece is on the right path to be a success story. And I think we should bear in mind that any adjustment program that we have financed at the ESM, but also we can go back to the entire history of the IMF, the final goal of a program is for a country to regain market access. So this is a yardstick to understand if a program succeeded or not. And there are some conditions for a country to regain market access at favorable rates. First of all is to complete the program. And I think it's fair to say that this was successfully completed last year. And I acknowledge the good cooperation we had with the administration, especially George Kouliarakis and Minister Tsakalotos. So this should be recognized. Of course, in the specific case of Greece, what played a great role was the incredible amount of resources deployed in Greece by the Euro area member states through the ESM and the EFSF, and the enormous amount of debt relief measures approved, and some of them to be still implemented. During this period, Greece gradually has regained market access, and you mentioned that there were some successful auctions recently. Others are planned in the future. So all the conditions are in place now for Greece to be a standard normal sovereign in the bond market, issuing according to the needs at reasonable rates. However, there are risks, and we should not forget about the risks. Some of the risks are domestically grown, some others depend on the global economy, and I think for the new administration it's paramount to address those risks directly, those domestically generated, and for those coming from the global economy, I think there are mitigating actions that should be implemented. I think in the remarks of my managing director earlier this morning, some of the risks materialized already with the decisions taken most recently on some slippages or backtracking on policy commitments. And of course, these were implemented by the previous administration, but we should not forget that the parliament more broadly approved those measures, so it was quite embraced by all parties. I think also the rating agencies, and Colin, maybe you can talk about it, issued a lot of reports in the last 2 weeks saying that the result of the elections and the perspective of the new government are very positive. However, there are some elements that need to be fulfilled for making sure that this good news, quote unquote, materialize. So first of all is the good cooperation between the authorities and the institutions. We have just started a dialogue with the authorities. I think there are good signs, but of course most of the elements need to be figured out. Second is to continue on the reform path. So we have noticed also with other beneficiary member states, it's part of our democratic framework that different governments alternate, but the path should be followed. The path is the reform path initiated during the programs. And of course, and this is especially important for Greece, is to stick to commitments. And Greece has taken a lot of commitments spelled out in the Eurogroup statement of last year and renewed in April this year. And these are commitments for the Greek state, not just for the previous government. And a lot of debt relief measures are linked to these commitments. So to conclude my interventions, all these elements are intertwined. You have reforms, commitments, delivery on what was committed, and this would lead to growth and market access. So In essence, I'm convinced if Greece delivers on its commitments and continues on the reform path, full market access will be reestablished and Greece can secure long-term sustainable growth. Thank you.